And so part of, I think, getting older and being manly is trying to embrace the wisdom that comes with time and mistakes, and maybe coming to terms with and finding meaning in the fact that you are a very limited and vulnerable creature.
Yeah, well.
And that you are going to die. and you're alive only because the gods so far have deemed it so. And I mean,
I'm glad to see you have a very positive take on all of this. I'm very happy to see it.
Yeah, very much. Well, I shaved my head partially because I was bored and I felt my hair was causing problems, but also if the apocalypse happens, nobody can grab my hair and control me. So it's one less cold. I can slip out. I'm not as big as you are, Nemr. If a giant like you, if a giant Lebanese man grabs me, maybe I can lube myself up and slip out of your clutches and live another day.
Is that what you're prepared? If a Lebanese man is going to grab you, it's to hug you, Bryan.
Ya habibi. Ya habibi.
So
I know.
So here, let me transition to this because this is a very bizarre thing. I remember when you told me this, I was like, I had the biggest face on my. You lived in Lebanon for a while, right?
5 years. 5 years off and on. Yes.
5 years. Why?
My father was a banker at the time, and an international banker, and Lebanon was, that Phoenician hub as it always has been.
Yep.
And it had lots of different foreign investments and interests. Mm-hmm. And we were, but my memories for my parents and for myself are nothing but amazing. One of the great tragedies was that country kind of imploded.
Yeah.
And I'm sure still dealing with those ramifications. But what was amazing about Lebanon and the Lebanese, and I say this about the Syrians as well, mm-hmm. I just had an experience with this, is that they are impossible to keep down. They're just impossible to keep down. They will find a way to start a small business in the corner of some burned out hole, whatever it is. They are the most industrious people in the world.
Yeah.
And the Lebanese have always been that way. If you look at them, what they've done in East Africa, West Africa, what you watch what they've done in Peru, they just start businesses, man.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Syrians. So
yeah.
So it's that spirit. It's that spirit I've always loved, and it's why my parents still have very close Lebanese friends all the way from back in the 70s.
That's incredible. So around when were you living in Lebanon off and on for 5 years?
The last time I was in Lebanon, I believe, was 1981. It was after the Israelis had invaded.
So you were there when it was heavy, like you were there.
I was there during the war, but we got evacuated to Greece in 1977, 78, I think.
Okay.
I then went back in 81 as a young kid, and I remember what was so devastating was I didn't recognize anything from my childhood.
Wow.
I went back to the building I lived in and saw massive holes in the side of the building. Yeah. I never forgot that, because what it did to me was I realized that I felt safe in that building. We had to sleep on the floor, but I felt safe in that building because I was behind walls. Yeah. And as a young boy, I was probably 14, I realized that those walls couldn't protect me. Mm-hmm. I saw holes. I saw the holes that were punched clean through. And that was really weird and surreal. And I've never spoken about it until just now. And it was a memory that I'm putting together now. But
so basically,
it made me feel so vulnerable.
The walls that you kind of grew up feeling protected you just literally saw. I mean, you couldn't get more metaphorical than that. There were holes in it. Like it punched holes through your
very much so
understanding of safety.
So. Lebanon was a paradise. Lebanon was a place where you partied up all through. Even as a kid, I knew this because I saw my parents and their friends. Mm-hmm. You ate dinner at 11 at night sometimes.
Yeah.
People would fight over the check. It was so fun. It was just always fun. I'm paying, no, I'm paying, and they'd have wrestling matches, and of course everybody. It was all that drama that Lebanon
passion.
Was.
Yeah.
And passion and fun and cosmopolitan, and then to see what that war did. I've carried with me for the rest of my life that chaos and the worst case scenario can happen to all of us at any time. It makes it very difficult to relax.
I'm curious, do you think those experiences contributed to your perspective where, I mean, a lot of themes that you're talking about is about, strength and being, the alpha. And
yes. And always knowing it was a fool's errand. Always knowing, but I can't help myself. Always knowing that it's a fool's errand. Always knowing that no matter what I did, there are forces much greater than myself that I have no control over. So I've never been relaxed that way.
Wow.
I never was able to really kind of, smoke weed and just chill out.
Really? Really?
No.
Okay.
No. And I still am not. I think that's the trauma. And I have no right to talk about trauma because I wasn't in the war for long enough as a kid, but it was.
It's still traumatized. No,
it was enough.
It's enough. You don't need to lose a limb to be able to say you got traumatized.
Well, also, when you're a boy and you have the people that you grew up with in Lebanon are in, say, London, and they're talking about their experience, and they've been there the whole time, and you see the expression in their eyes, and you hear the stories.
Yeah.
That's something that you. I'm sensitive,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty keyed into people's emotions, and so maybe that's why I'm an actor.
I was gonna say, as are most actors in comics.
I think so. So that may have been something that I take with me. Maybe also it's informed my comedy too.
Interesting. So you've never been back since 1981.
No.
Okay,
no, I'd like to.
So soon, if I were to say, Bryan, I'm putting together a massive show in Lebanon, 10,000 people are showing up, and we want you to join us, would you?
It makes me nervous, not because I'm afraid of my safety. It makes me nervous to perform for people who are not native English speakers. But that's silly because Lebanese all speak English. They all speak French.
And since the 80s, since the Civil War, it became like a native tongue there. My whole career is in English, doing stand-up there, and well, dude,
I would truly jump at that opportunity, and I'm not kidding.
My only condition for that to happen, and is that you actually bring your family and stay for a week, so I show you Lebanon again. I reintroduce you. Dude,
I swear to you, I promise, on my children, I will do that.
Okay.
I would be so honored, and I would be. To go to Faraya, to go to Coral Beach, that stuff makes me want to, it's just, the memories were so strong. I think that I would just, I can't think of anything better.
Dude, okay, then I'm publicly saying it right now. I'm going to make sure that happens. And thank you for saying what you said. I want to move on to something very funny based off of what you just told us. I'm going to play a video for everybody right here. Let me just enable screen sharing for a second. This video is from your character in the movie The Hangover.
Is there a wedding here? Do you do weddings here?
You're cracking my balls, man. I love these guys.
So you ask, they ask you, was there a wedding here? Is there a wedding here? And then you go, are you cracking my balls, man?
Getting when you there's nothing funnier than when somebody doesn't speak English but he gets the swear words wrong. You mother bitch. You are a mother bitch. You are for fucking this motherfucking. He's a bitch. His face is like a donkey. I don't know. They don't know how to do it. They're so mad. His fucker mother. This guy. He's a fucker mother. That guy. It's like I love that shit. So that was a Lebanese guy.
That's what I wanted. When you told me this, I remember we met in. I think the first time we ever met was in backstage at the Wilbur Theater. Yeah. When you guys were doing the Fighter and the Kid, the podcast, in the theater. Right. And I had just finished my show. Yours was coming up after.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I said, "Hey man, I'm a huge fan. My name's Nemr." And you said, "I know you're Lebanese. Did you know my character?" And I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" Because this was the most left field thing. I had no clue. And you told me that character. I'm like, because everybody in Lebanon, I remember when we watched The Hangover and Hangover 3, by the way, with Samir, which we're going to talk about as well.
Hangover 2. Yeah.
Hangover 2, sorry.
He was probably more Egyptian.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about
Same
that.
Accent.
We're like, this guy knows an Arab. Like, this was the consensus. So when you confirmed it, Brajo, so please tell everybody watching right now about that.
So the character was written first as a guy from New York. His name was Eddie. He was in a sweatsuit, and he was, from Long Island. He was from Brooklyn. And he talks like this, and he could get you stuff. And he has a wedding. And I said, that's not who owns wedding chapels in Vegas.
Vegas, true.
The guy who owns wedding chapels in Vegas is Armenian, or he's from Lebanon, and and those guys if you want to buy, I can find you anything For me, I can get you anything you want, mulakhiya, shawarma, whatever you want. Right now, I can get. Right now, I call for a Mercedes. You want Mercedes? Look, my Mercedes, beautiful. But this one is perfect. I mean, that they are always they'll sell you. Before you know it, you're like, fuck. I have a Mercedes and a beach ball. I don't know how it happened. So they started laughing when I did that. Bradley Cooper, all of them. They were like, dude, you got to do it. And then when I get shot, I swore in Arabic.
Yep.
And I was like, they were laughing so hard. They were like, dude. So Todd Phillips said, you got to play that character. But I was playing the guys I knew from Lebanon, the macho dudes like Tawfiq and these guys that I had known. In fact, my friend Tawfiq from college was actually Jordanian and I think German.
Oh,
he was the guy
what a gangster mix.
Oh, dude, stud, handsome, and the legend is when he went to the Jordanian army, his sergeant found a hair dryer in his bag. He's like, dude, you can't have a hair dryer. Get at his hair had to be perfect. He wore the tightest jeans. He'd pull his whole piece to one side so the girls. It was all about virility. The greatest. He was the greatest. And he was just a great guy. So I played those. I took her to my bed. I make her all the night like that. She cannot do with another man. Those guys. She cannot do with another man. I make a massacre. Those guys. You got to be virile. You got to talk about sex like it's a war. And so all of those wonderful. Sort of macho, it's the Italian, it's the Lebanese, it's the Armenian, it's the Spanish virility.
Thank you for checking out that clip. If you liked what you saw, there's a lot more to check out. Check out the channel, check out the videos, go and check them out.